This last exercise is extra credit and it's not for the faint of heart. Some of you that love programming might want to try to tackle this. I thought it'd be cool to be able to have a quiz activity that you actually took and drug terms around with your finger, okay? For example, this is going to be the result of this activity that we're going to build, and you'll be able to take your finger and put it on here, hold your finger down, you can take and drag it and drop it in a box here, okay? I thought maybe it might be easier to put the term rather than the definition and drag those around. So put the definition across the top here, have a few terms scattered around, and be able to take and put the correct one in there. And if the text is the correct term for this definition, go ahead and toast, yeah, you got it right, or something like that. Anyway, we're going to create a new activity, or excuse me, a new project for this. And later on, you can take and slip it into your security or handheld security terms project, okay? Anyway, we're going to create a new one. By default, I got in here, activities are created with constraint layouts, okay? Constraint layouts won't allow us to slide them around the screen, text views around the screen with our finger. So therefore, we're going to have to take and change that and make it a relative layout. And then also we're going to add these things to our text views, and I'll talk about those just a bit. Anyway, I created a new a new project here. It's called My Applications 5. That's fine. And it's got a main activity in here. Okay, what I'm going to do is going to take and copy this code right here. This right here is basically going to describe for Android Studio how we want our main activity to look. So if we go into our resources here in our layout, select our activity main, I'm going to take and I'm going to replace all of the code because you can see your constraint layout here. Control A, Control V, just like that. Everything new in there. Once again, now we have a relative layout. Relative layout means it actually has dimensions. Each one of these is dimensioned off the top and things like that. If you look around in here, you can see that we actually have to have this margin left and margin top, okay, that describe how far that text view is from the top and from the left. And we also have to say align it from the parent, okay. And anyway, you're going to see that I got, this is the green one. I'm sorry, I got junk popping up here. And see, this is the green one. It's got the green, okay. And these other two are the ones that are going to slide around, okay. They're called TextView 1, TextView 2. And once again, it's going to look like this when it's done. Go back to Word. Once again, this is just an overview. I'm going to try to explain some of the stuff in here. Let's go ahead and grab this code right here. Control C. Go into our activity main right there, and we're going to take and we're going to add that code right here. Okay. Got a whole bunch of classes that we got to include here. Alt-Enter and Alt-Enter. Import class, resources, Alt-Enter, and relative layout, Alt-Enter, import class, and motion event, Alt-Enter, and what we got left here? I think down here we got our toast. We got to do it yet. Like that, okay. Oh, one thing, if you move this to a different application and you call it main activity, or call it maybe a quiz animate activity or something like that, make sure you're going to have to change this one line right here, because a toast needs to know what the current activity is, and that's kind of a difficult thing to find. So you're better off just changing the name of the activity in here, because you're going to end up with a error. Okay, let's take and slide this over so we can see everything. What I'm doing is I'm creating a couple of variables, aliases for those two text views, text view 1 and text view 2, okay? There, see them? And then we have this on-touch listener. What we're doing is we're creating an on-touch listener right here that's called listener. And then later on down here, we can say, okay, TextView 1, set it on text touch listener and assign it this listener that we're creating here. So we don't have to create one of these for each one of these text views, okay? That's kind of nice. So just make sure you declare your variable of your text views up here. You take and assign them this touch listener to listener, okay? Anyway, if you look at this touch listener, what does it do? It basically has this on touch. When it first touches it, okay, what you want to do is you want to get the current location of that text view, okay? And you hang on to that for a little bit. And then we have our, after that, we have action down. I'm sorry. Action down is when your finger actually comes down and it takes and gets this location. And then we have an action move, which is when you slide your finger. When that happens, I wrote a little code in here that makes sure that it doesn't come out of the parameters, okay? But what that happens then is as it moves, it gets the current location and it updates that text view. So that text view would slide around with your finger, just like that. And then there's one more action up, okay? And when action up is done, then we take and do a little toast that says, hey, this text view is now in this new location, okay? And I put a little note in here also for you. Hey, look at here. I'm thinking this may be a good place to check to see if the text view is in the boundaries of the correct answer box and also that it's the correct one, okay? So I'm thinking that's where you might want to put your code to make this thing really work cool, okay? Anyway, if you go ahead and run it right now, you'll see that when you take and grab one of these, slide it around, you can drag it in a box here, okay? Now, I believe that being we created this green box first, that all the rest of these are on top of it, because you can see text view in here. So I'm thinking if you make this box last, then when you drag it in, you might not be able to see it in there. But maybe that's what you want to do. Maybe you want to take and drag it in here and drop it in the top and it's gone or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, hopefully it works for you. Hopefully you can have some fun playing around with it. And if you're scared, run away. That's fine too. Hey, it's been great.